Thank you very much to Anna, and good afternoon, everybody, and benvenuti. I hope I said that correctly. Don't correct me. So this session is about uncovering Italy's hidden gems, the new investment frontiers of tourism that combine heritage with innovation. So we're going to show you this afternoon and talk about some destinations that are off the traditional map but firmly on the government's radar. So it's about solutions. It's about Italy turning authenticity, design and culture into something commercial and very exciting. For investors, it means a big opportunity, access to distinctive, resilient developments backed by national strategy and supported by strong international relationships. So before we start this session, we'll be hearing from Valerio Soldani, who is the director of Italian Trade Agency. Now, he's going to tell us how the golden age in trade relations between the UAE and Italy has well and truly started. In fact, it's in full swing. And I do believe that bilateral trade is growing by some 20%. Is that right? I think so. So Valerio plays a central role in that success, helping investors connect directly with projects across Italy's most promising sectors. So I'd like to introduce Valerio, bring him to the stage, and he's going to tell us a little bit more. So please give him a big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, President Priante, Dr. Malagrida, and all the distinguished guests and speakers like Chiara. Yeah, this is way better. I just wanted, on behalf of the Italian Trade Agency, to say hello to everybody. As Gemma was saying, this is really a golden age because we are way over the $14 billion mark of bilateral trade between the United Arab Emirates and Italy. And our export, so the goods and services that from Italy go to the United Arab Emirates, we are still growing and doubling that kind of volume of affairs and business in the last 4 years. So we are still growing in the first 7 months of 2025 by 18% year over year. It is something that our entrepreneurs are made possible thanks to technology experts, food, fashion, furniture, and all the big flagship industries of Made in Italy. And of course, hospitality plays a big role in here because it brings together the whole filiera, the whole supply chain that makes it possible. And as we were discussing with the ambassador of Italy this morning, there's been a lot of investment in hospitality in Italy. We are also in charge as a single-stop shop to, assist together with Invitalia and all the ecosystem of Italy, all prospect investors that from the UAE want to invest more in Italy. There's been always already a commitment from the UAE part in the visit to President Meloni or President bin Zayed last year of $40 billion investment. Well, a very interesting part of this has already been going in the hospitality sector. So I think that with the ITA, we have a huge platform of promotion while you can see this kind of offer. And all the distinguished speakers over today will be having a big spotlight on this industry. And it'll be interesting also to understand, to be there for every single business player in this industry, because we are here, we're based in Dubai, and we can really be together, playing as a team with all the other Italian entities to bring more business going in the Emirates and in Italy as a big win-win strategy that brings more business to both countries. So have a great panel today, Ed, and thank you, everybody.
Massive thank you, Valerio. Thank you for setting the scene. We appreciate you taking the time to come today. So before we start, we do have a video to show you, and then we're going to get cracking with our panel session. So production team, take it away.
Discover a place where your imagination comes alive. Experience Abruzzo, from the heights of our mountains to the depths of our sea. Abruzzo, made in nature, made in Italy.
Brilliant. Now, I'm told there's a hidden gem for every letter of the alphabet in Italy. We only had time for the letter A, Abruzzo, but that's beautiful enough. I wish we had time for the rest of the alphabet. So I'd now like to introduce my panellists. I'll start with ladies first, only polite. So in the middle here, we're lucky to have with us today Alessandra Prionte, who's the president of ENIT, which is Italy's National Tourism Board. So the work there is helping to reposition Italy for a new era of diversification and sustainable growth. Then sitting next to me is Chiara Gibertini from Pininfarina Architecture. Now, she represents one of Italy's most iconic design brands, now leading the transformation of the historic Murano glass factory in Venice. I'm sure that's something, you know, a lot of us are familiar with, that island and that building, but it's really going to take on new meaning soon, and Chiara's going to tell us about that. And last but certainly not least, we have Marco Malacrida, who's the founder of Italia Hospitality. Now, he's connecting global investors with high-value projects across Abruzzo, Sardinia, Puglia, and I think many other destinations as well. So we're talking from thermal wellness to longevity, wine-led tourism, we all like that, and much, much more. So first of all, thank you for being here today. Thank you for coming to FHS
Thank you,
World.
Gemma.
And yeah, it's a real pleasure, very exciting. We all love Italy, but as we're going to be talking about today, it's the hidden gem. So Alessandra, it's probably apt that we start with you. Italy is one of the world's most visited destinations, but what's changing? Where is the momentum and where are we seeing the opportunity for investors?
Well, first of all, Gemma, thank you very much for the great introduction, and thank you, Marco and Italia Hospitality, for always doing a fantastic job positioning Italy everywhere in the key markets. It's good to be back. Dubai has been my home for 5 years, back in the day, so it's really great to see how it's always buzzing. And in this sense, it's a great source of inspiration because we are here to let everyone know that Italy, which is a small country, and by the way, by far the most desired destination in the world, is much more than the main point of attractions. And when I say that, is that because each and every corner of Italy has not only history, but has depth, has diversity, has unique experiences. Clearly, not everything in Italy needs to be a touristic destination, but us at the Italian Tourism Board, we're trying to showcase the Italy that not everyone knows. We also, within the already known destinations, we're trying to get tourists to understand that there's much more than the traditional things that you would imagine you're going to do in Italy. So I'm actually very pleased we started with Abruzzo. It's actually the region, my native region. I was born there, so I am a native witness of the power of this. It's a region which is just, its capital, L'Aquila, is just 150 kilometers away from Rome, so it's an hour drive, really. And it's another 180 kilometers from the airport of Pescara, which is on the sea. It's the region with the highest mountain in the Apennines. So often people go there and ski. It's actually the best kept secret for the Romans. The Romans don't really want everyone else to know but it's a great skiing destination. And it's also famous because from the mountains you can actually ski and look at the sea. So it has a great coastline. And talking about food and wine, I just don't want to start because it's one of a kind. Overall, what is beautiful about it is the type of luxury that you can develop in regions like Abruzzo is actually fitting the new foundations of luxury, which is, first of all, if we think of a good, which for us is luxury, what is it? Anybody?
Anyone?
Gemma? When you say, oh, this is luxury, what?
Well, I think it's changed these days, what people consider luxury. It's understated. It's about authentic experiences. It's about meeting people. It's about health and wellness too.
Overall, is about time. So the main luxury that everyone has is allocating the right time for the right experiences that you're describing. It's not going in a rush, it's actually the exact opposite. It's not having a full day of things to do, but having a day in which whatever you're doing feels like a flow and a good value of your time. So these type of destinations, the upcoming, the hidden gems, as you very correctly define them, are fantastic because they withhold history, they withhold craftsmanship. You would be able to go around the village and see the old lady who's making the bread, the other one who's doing crochet. They are full and rich with content, with stories, which is the main thing. And when you think of hospitality there, you are not thinking about, of course, a skyscraper. You're thinking about the new concept of luxury hospitality, which we call albergo diffuso, which is a set of houses in a village that becomes a hotel. That makes you live as you are in the village, but in reality, you are not in a hospitality reality. So the beauty of it is to rebuild it as if it's a village, keeping the authentic part of it. The biggest challenge, clearly investment, connectivity, but for us is to try to keep people, especially younger people, there. We've heard so much during this FHS about hospitality made of people, about training, about universities, about acknowledging initiatives. It is very important that we keep our younger generations in the country. And we feel that this is one way in which we're going to do it, because the worst thing that can happen is that they then transform in some kind of, a place with no personality. So we need to make sure that everything stays authentic, yet merging with the business. So it is a big challenge. I think that is the reason why, and I really want to thank Italia Hospitality for this forward-thinking approach, because this is the way that we need to communicate the future of tourism. We believe the future of tourism is there, embedding everything you described, from wellness to culture to wine and gastronomy, and to simply feeling Italian, because I think ultimately this is what people want to do when they come to our country. They want to feel Italian.
And I think, well, thank you for setting the scene. I mean, a beautiful description. And I think what you said about accessibility is important. I mean, like you said, it's very easy to get to places in Italy that, you can go to a hidden gem quite easily. So I think that's an important point to make. And I like what you're saying about, bringing people into it, whether it's, the local community and spreading out the tourism impact, isn't it? Because we hear these days about over-tourism. We want the people that live in the country to benefit as much as the visitors, rather than for it to detract. So it seems like the perfect strategy and the perfect opportunity. I think aware of the time, so I'd like to now talk about some of these projects, because I know there'll be people in the room today that want to hear about what those opportunities are. Now, Chiara, I mentioned about the Murano glass factory, but you're in it, you're doing it. Please tell us about this project, what it entails, the vision, and that, because it's a first for Italy, isn't it, in many ways?
Yeah. Yes, hello. Hi, everyone. It's a huge opportunity for us as Pininfarina, as a designer, because we are bringing to Italy the first branded projects. Because here in Dubai, you're all familiar with the branded residences. You have a lot of branded here. We are present here, but in Italy, we're still getting into this market, and the Murano project will be the very first one. And it's an important project because it's not only about residences, it's hospitality plus branded residences operated by the hospitality operator. And this means it's a new step for the hospitality sector, especially in a city like Venice, which is one of the second most visited in Italy, which have an average daily rate which is above Rome, and the hospitality in Venice, it's a thing. For us as Pininfarina, it was an opportunity, but also a challenge, because it's we are working on two former glass factory. And this means that they are listed on the Italian heritage buildings, and it was a challenge because we have to deal with limits, boundaries. We have to have limits in the structures of the project, and while inside we could have the most creativity as designer as we could do, and this was a great opportunity to merge the innovation and the heritage of a place like Venice.
And so, in terms of investment, what kind of investors are you targeting for this project?
So the thing is that I think that having a brand like Pininfarina inside a project like that is more like it's something that is aside of the investors, because having a brand as Pininfarina can bring the design as an asset. Design is not anymore a cost, is an asset for the project. Why? Because a brand like us not only brings design, but a story, values, iconicity, the Italian way of designing. This year is our 95th anniversary, so it means that we are like design house for almost 100 years. And for investors, we are an asset. Why? Because we speed up the sales, we can increase the price, but also we can bring desirability on the projects. And having a brand like ours that it's like really rooted in the history, together with a site in Venice, one of the most important city in the world, it's really a thing, and it never happened to a project in Italy to have a branded project in such a nice and important place.
Yeah, I mean, and Murano is such a beautiful island, and I visited last year. Actually, it was ever so quiet. It was just, it is a real gem, but yet so close to Venice. Yeah, well, it is part of Venice.
It is a gem, and if you're thinking about Murano, it's not only very close to Venice because it's 15 minutes by boat to Piazza San Marco. But also it's quite like you can avoid all the touristic crowd of Venice, so you can visit Venice, but still you can go back to a quiet place. And the most important thing of Murano was the glass factories, and we are building a 5-star luxury hotels plus branded resi inside a former glass factory. I think the equation is something that like we are giving back, and for us it's not only like luxury, it's not only a 5-star hotel, it's like bringing something and giving something back to the population and to the islands of Murano in this case, because we know that we are designing when you design luxury, you know that you are targeting only some kind of people in a way, and it's not hidden. But we are trying, and especially in this project, to work with Italian craftsmanship. We are working with Italian products, furnitures, manufacturing. So we are trying to give back, and luxury is also this. Yeah. So designing for few, but giving back to like the population something.
Yeah. Actually, I've got the perfect example, because when I was there, my daughter and I went to a local studio and made glass beads. And that, obviously something that was impacting a small studio there with local people. And it was a very memorable experience, yeah. So I guess those are the kind of experiences that pair with the hospitality offering that you'll have, with the glass factory.
Italy is exactly this, as you were saying before. You can find very high level and very luxury hospitality places, but still visiting the shops where they are still doing with their hand everything. So you have these two souls of our country. So we are competitive. We are offering highest standards for hospitality, but still we are rooted in our history, and you can like go back of 100 years visiting these kind of places. Yes.
Well, it sounds amazing, and we'd love to hear more, but I do... Oh, Alessandra would like to...
Gemma, I just want to make sure that I don't forget acknowledging the man right there in the bottom, Jonathan Worsley.
Jonathan's at the back there. He's hiding.
Who just got a huge giant, talking about Venice, Lion Award. So congrats, Jonathan, and thank you for having us. Please, a big round of applause for him. Congrats. It is an honor to participate to the 20th anniversary of FHS. And the other thing, before passing the word clear to Marco, I just want to challenge Chiara, because definitely it's very important that Pininfarina joins a mature destination like Venice and clearly Murano to develop it. My dream would actually be to see these type of designs applied in the emerging regions like Abruzzo, for example, that needs it so much after the earthquake. So that would be an absolute blessing. Chiara, we
I'm
hope
ready
you
to
would-
take a flight and see the plot,
So
wherever
there.
it is.
We're looking forward to having you, really.
And it's when the challenging is on like Pininfarina coming on the game and coming to the table for in Abruzzo, for example. I would love to.
Thank you very much.
Well, you heard it here first. Right, Marco, you've got some incredible projects you'd like to tell us about.
Well, first of all, I have to say that I am the absolute minority in this panel.
Are you the hidden gem on the panel?
For me to survive, it will be a success. But to recap very quickly, the reason why we are here is to offer to investor opportunity to make the business better. We match demand and offer, selecting opportunities. We have colleagues here, Giorgio, Palmiro, Giuseppe, able to guide investors into the discovery of the new gems for the entire journey. With Valerio team, ICE, who can assist also in the bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is the threat for Italy, but now we're solving it. So what I invite everybody, because my time is 1 minute left, is visit us at Italia Hospitality Lounge, and you'll be able to experience the real project, go through them. We span from glamping to thermal resources, to branded residencies, and revaluation of Borghi in cities like, in destinations like Abruzzo. We have the entire alphabet. We named Abruzzo, but we go down to Sardinia. Giuseppe is here. 2 beautiful projects in Sardinia, 2 beautiful projects in Puglia. So I'm very much willing to welcome you anytime to further discuss it.
Well, there's an invitation. Now, Marco, when we had a discussion, you were saying that these are kind of, you're looking for investors with a kind of long-term vision. What type of investors best fit these projects? Oh, okay, no problem.
Sorry, I must tell you, I had a dinner 2 days ago in a restaurant I do not name that destroyed my tympans. So I'm complete. I have a woo on my ear, so I'm nearly deaf. So I ask patience, please repeat what you asked.
No problem. So when we chatted before this session, you were mentioning about how these projects for investors with long-term vision.
Yes.
And so I wondered if you could tell us more about the type of investors that these projects fit.
Yes, we ideally look for a family office looking to transfer the wealth from one generation to the other, who are patient enough to take the project from the very beginning, like seeding on the earth, and build the tree to get the fruits in a couple of year times. So no hurry, but consistency and a vision based on respect for people, respect for the territory, respect for the environment, which happens to be the first line of the demand for the future tourists. They would look for integration. The ESG commitment is also from the demand side to be followed.
Thank you. We are running out of time, so before we ask our panelists for their final thoughts, do we have any questions from the audience at all? Oh, we have a gentleman at the back. Could we have a roaming mic, please? Can we get there quickly? And if you wouldn't mind saying your name and the company you represent, so we've got some context, that would be very, very useful. Thank you very much. The mic is on its way.
Yeah, hi, Jim. I'm Mohammed from Bizgate. Hi, Marco and the panelists. Thank you so much for a wonderful talk today. My quick question to you, Marco, here. Italian hospitality has been really upfront in a lot of projects, especially for family and luxury, and a very special destination for wealthy families from the Gulf. How do you see the opportunity for investors in this region to really learn and to acquire and to invest with the strong relationship between the UAE government and the Italian government? How do you see the future for it? Thank you.
I see a bright future because both governments are committing themselves for further investments, and with the assistance and the support, I must say, of ENIT and ICE, we will be able to achieve these ambitious objectives. Thanks to our colleagues at Italia Hospitality, which I named before, I'm sure we can offer to the investment community in the UAE a lot of opportunities. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Mohammed. I thought it was you, but the lights were shining on your face. I can see it's you now. Nice to see you again. Alessandra, did you want to add to that more about, we talked about telling the story of Italy, obviously to consumers, but also investors too, and perhaps maybe more around public-private partnerships and how they work. Is there anything that you can add colour to about telling that story to, particularly this market?
Well, yeah, Gemma. Actually, PPP has never worked better in Italy, and we are witnessing a blossoming of interest and an inflow as well of investments from abroad because we managed to consolidate our credibility. Believe it or not, we have a government that has now surpassed the 3 years. So the government is stable. We had our prime minister that we just hosted the global summit of WTTC, which is the World Travel and Tourism Council, and our prime minister came to it to open it. And I think this is the biggest testament of how crucial tourism is for her government and her vision. And just to quote you a little joke, if you allow me, when I was based here as a diplomat, I remember after the 4th year, I came in 2010, and then was the collapse of Berlusconi government, then Monti, and then Renzi, and then Letta, and then Renzi. So in 4 years, we had 4 governments. So at one point, I remember my very good friend, the former Minister of Economy, Sultan al-Mansouri, he came to me, took me on the side and said, Alessandra, what problems you have with leadership in Italy? So I'm like, well, let's say that we like to change often. I think the fact that this has dramatically, gone the other way around, gives us credibility, stability, and this is what investors want. Also, Marco was mentioning something crucial, which is bureaucracy. Because we have a multi-layer public sector. We have the national, the regional, the province, the municipality, and then the association that protects. I mean, she mentioned something which is not secondary. It's like when you're taking buildings that are protected by the Ministry of Culture, it takes you forever to have even the slightest possibility of changing, and then someone needs to approve. So looks complicated. It is, but what we have now is we have the credibility and the collaboration of the government top down so that you can actually unblock things, make things happen, and have a very, very healthy relationship with the private sector.
Thank you for making that point, because it is important. And as you say, however, if governments change, what doesn't change is the appeal of Italy, whether it's the places we know or the places we don't know. The people, the culture, the history, the wine, the food. There's a long list. You can't change that. So that's always going to be there. And I think investors and, visitors will always love that about Italy for sure. I think I'm going to ask if there's one more question. Oh, we have a lady there. Oh, we've got 2 questions. We like questions from the audience. Right, let's get that mic over. Oh, as it's with you, then we'll come to you, only because it's there.
All right, I'm really interested. My name is Ahmed. I'm from FHA, Future Horizon Advisory. And I've actually tried to do a glamping site in Puglia, particularly in Brindisi in the conservation area. And I failed miserably.
Why?
What you said first? Bureaucracy. The second thing is there is no infrastructure for public transportation in Puglia. So if you're there, you have to rent a car or you can't go anywhere. So Puglia market based on Italian local market coming to this area in the weekend, in the months between May and September. And out of these months, you cannot have any guests coming unless you have something in Bari or in Lecce, which are beautiful places. I love the whole Puglia area. And I wanted to understand what are the plans of developing these areas, expanding to Brindisi and having infrastructure and helping with the bureaucracy and the taxes in building in Puglia. Thank you.
Thanks for that question. Who would like to?
Well, we'll ask the minister next time. It would take an hour.
We need the minister, yes.
No, yeah, just one small clarification. I think the PPP has ameliorated. So what we can do is now we can return a constructive feedback to say, hey, there was someone that wanted to invest, but quoting your words, failed miserably because of the lack of connectivity. I mean, this is a common problem in many areas of Italy. Even though we have for example, the most connected high-speed rail network of Europe. So you can literally go from Rome to Milan in 3 hours every 15 minutes, competing companies as well. So it's absolutely outstanding. But then again, I'm with you. If I'm here promoting a hidden gem and I'm telling people to go and invest in a remote area, most likely we would need to work on the road constructions and the train connectivity beyond anything else. So this is definitely constructive feedback we'll bring back. To your, let's say, advantage, the regional elections of Puglia are taking place now. So this will be a feedback that I will personally deliver to the new government when it's established, since it's my role. And let's see if that takes anywhere.
And that's why these forums are important, to have that two-way conversation. So thank you for that question. There is a lady at the front here that would like to ask a question. Could we get the mic to... Oh, you've got the mic. Fabulous.
Thank you very much. This has been enlightening. My name is Katia Kapti. I'm from Dentons. This is really more of a personal experience, and I hope not a controversial question. But I've just returned from Italy. I thoroughly enjoyed some time in Rome and some time in Naples. How do you manage the perception of social society in respect of your increasing tourism? So I ask this question because it was a very real experience, real and different compared to just 5 years ago, 3 years ago, of the kind of graffiti that you even see around the Colosseum, kind of saying tourists go home. I personally come from Cape Town, and there's a lot more hype around Cape Town. There are a lot more visitors. How do you manage that in what you do? I'm a huge promoter of tourism, a huge promoter of hospitality. But how do you not become Spain to a tourist? I ask the question also because I am from Cape Town, and that is in our foreseeable future.
Yeah, right. So I love Cape Town. I would return to Cape Town yesterday. It's a beautiful city. I'm going to have to ask you, is the test kitchen still out?
It is still out, but I understand it will be back on soon.
No. You see, good things always come to an end. Let me give you a very brutally honest answer. I am a firm believer that over-tourism, the way that we talk about it, doesn't exist. Over-tourism is just a beautiful term that we've all adopted and makes us feel very sort of taking responsibility away. In reality, it's bad management. It's like inviting 5,000 people to a 50-square-meter apartment to celebrate your birthday. Disaster. Okay? So, and I also am a little bit against giving a lot of attention to a small group of protesters which happen to hit the media and do not reflect the reality. All right? So it is very hype and it's very cool to talk about the 5 people that were spraying water in the tourists in Barcelona. Happened once. Is Barcelona any less full? No. Is Rome any less full? No. For me, the first part of your conversation is what I really enjoyed. Because, for example, Naples wasn't like this 5 years ago. And it's now the destination. Millennials, weekenders, go to Naples because it's become so beautiful, so authentic, very well connected, 50 minutes train away from Roma, for example. And I'm glad you had a good experience. There are some graffitis. First of all, they shouldn't even be, because we're an historic city. I would actually, give a Sharia treatment to anybody that is found spraying walls in our beautiful city that then doesn't get cleaned. So I'm with you on that. But I'm completely against the line of communication where we're actually giving attention to this, because this is not what is happening with tourism in Europe or in Italy. It's growing, it's consolidating, we're becoming better and better. And if we're here about our potential and attractivity towards investors, foreign investors, what is important for me is the feedback that I just received about what doesn't work, what can we do better. And what really excites me is what I'm witnessing right here, that we are now developing our own, branded residences in a place where, oh my God, it's a dream to go and live, even for someone who is purely Italian and from the mountains. So overall, what I want to say is Italy is a mature destination. We have a lot to offer, a lot to allow me, please. I'm not being against my humbleness, but we have a lot to teach. I think being a mature market, there's a lot you can learn from us in the good way or in the bad way. No, don't repeat the old lessons. Like, you're developing a new destination, go straight sustainable. You don't have to go through the mess of going, of filling it up because you're going for numbers. Go for quality, don't go for quantity. Look at other aspects. Involve your people from the very beginning, because this is absolutely fundamental. So I would say that we are in a unique position, and we are capable, I think, to continue being the rising star of Europe. We are, I repeat, the most desired destination in the world. I had recently, I'm not going to mention which airline group, but a very large and important airline group, who mentioned that we are the number one seat holder. They serve, I don't know how many destinations in the world, and number one destination is Italy in terms of seats sold. It must mean something. So we really have a lot of work to do, but we are also, very welcome to grow together with all of you. And sorry, Gemma, I'm taking ownership of the stage a little bit. I would also like to acknowledge a gentleman who's sitting right there, Mr. Jason Wong, who's representing GTEF, the Global Tourism Economy Forum, Macau, talking about, connections between Asia and Italy. Him and especially his leader, Panzio, have been building great connections between Asia and Italy. And this is exactly where we should be, continuing our work.
Thank you, Alessandra.
Thank you.
I wish we had more of this discussion, because it's very interesting. And I think, from the outside looking in, I think what you're doing is amazing. You are trying to get, and across Italy, you've recognised that all these other areas have got potential, and involving the local people, as you say. All of these things are work in progress, aren't they? And you're not alone. The whole of Europe, as you say, is now looking at how to remanage the tourism scenario. So I'd like to say thank you to all of our panellists for today's discussion. I wish we had more time. I'd love you to give them a big round of applause and to take the conversation outside to the FHS floor. Thank you very much. Thank you.